Out west tonight, police in LA are looking for whoever ransacked the house of Brad Pitt, according to senior law enforcement sources. It happened overnight, late last night. They don't know how much of Pitt's stuff was taken, but they're looking for 3 suspects.
Imagine gliding down a red carpet in Barcelona, flashbulbs popping, critics hailing your new racing epic as the most authentic film ever set on an F1 grid. Minutes later, 5,700 miles away, a crowbar crunches through the century-old glass of your Los Feliz mansion. Brad Pitt's night of triumph turned into a real-life heist thriller, one scripted by brazen thieves who knew exactly when the star would be out of town. And what they stole could dent more than his bank account. But before we trace the break-in's chilling timeline, let's rewind to the very moment LA's security cameras blinked red.
Brad Pitt's multi-million-dollar home in one of LA's most upscale neighborhoods ransacked and robbed. Multiple law enforcement officials telling NBC News 3 thieves broke into the house at 10:30 Wednesday night. The intruders scaling a wall that surrounds the property and then busting in through a front window.
The midnight breach. At precisely 10:30 p.m. Pacific, Wednesday, June 25th, 2025, 3 hooded figures appeared on Pitt's street-facing CCTV. They vaulted an 8-foot iron fence, landed like gymnasts, and melted into the shadows hugging the ivy-covered facade. One carried a battery-powered rotary saw. Another swung a long-handled crowbar. In just 22 seconds, they sliced the alarm wire feeding the ground floor motion sensor, jammed the crowbar into a vintage leaded glass pane, and shattered entry with a muffled pop.
Brad Pitt's home was burglarized. ET has confirmed 3 suspects broke into Brad's $5.5 million Los Feliz home Wednesday night around 10:30 p.m.
The Los Angeles Police Department would later call it a textbook hot prowl. A burglary committed while alarms are live and neighbors awake. Inside, an audible sensor tripped, auto-dialing a patrol unit from Northeast Division. But response times in Hollywood Hills averaged 9 minutes. The raiders knew it. In that slim window, they ransacked 2 sitting rooms, Pitt's study, and an upstairs walk-in where insiders say he stores both custom Tom Ford tuxes and a Warhol line sketch gifted by Quentin Tarantino. By the time cruisers crested the gated driveway, the crooks were gone, vanishing into the canyons in a matte black Audi A6, spotted by 2 doorbell cams.
To the break-in at the home of actor Brad Pitt while he was very publicly traveling to promote his new movie. Trevor Ault is in LA with the latest for us. Good morning to you, Trevor.
Good morning, Michael. And there have been a number of A-list break-ins in recent months and years. Brad Pitt now the newest victim, as police say these burglars smashed into his home while he was out promoting his new movie.
So, how did they know Brad's schedule down to the minute? The answer begins at a glittering movie premiere thousands of miles away. A perfect alibi, broadcast to the world. While alarms blared in Los Feliz, Brad Pitt was shaking hands in the VIP pit lane of Barcelona's Circuit de Catalunya. His film F1, an adrenaline-soaked racer directed by Top Gun Maverick's Joseph Kosinski, held its European gala that very night. Paparazzi live-streamed his every step. Black tux, salt and pepper stubble, easy grin. A time-stamped Getty frame shows him crossing the step and repeat at 7:30 a.m. Thursday Barcelona time, perfectly overlapping the 10:30 p.m. LA robbery. Criminals study social media like blueprints. Pitt's press tour schedule had trended for weeks. Even casual fans knew he'd be out of the country. LAPD sources admit the suspects likely used public posts to plan the hit.
The break-in, LAPD confirming to Eyewitness News that at least 3 suspects broke into Brad Pitt's Los Feliz home around 10:30 last night. Now, according to police, the 3 suspects got in through a window and ransacked the movie star's home. The suspects got into the property by jumping over a fence.
One neighbor reported a black Audi circling the block 2 nights earlier, cell phone jutting from the driver's window, possibly mapping blind spots. Yet even with Pitt gone, his home wasn't supposed to be easy prey. Let's peel back the layers of security the thieves managed to short-circuit. Acts in a fortress. Pitt's compound, 5 interconnected craftsman cottages he bought and merged over 25 years, underwent a $2 million security upgrade in 2020. Motion sensor floodlights, vibration detecting window tape, and a direct fiber line to a private monitoring center. But the main house is still a 1910 structure, riddled with crawl space gaps and blind corners too delicate to retrofit with steel.
And it's also unclear right now whether or not this break-in is connected to any of those other thefts that appear to have targeted the homes of celebrities.
Contractors warned of 3 dark zones: a vine-thick back terrace, an overhang above the music room, and a narrow side path hidden by juniper. That side path is the exact route thieves used, hopping from a neighbor's retaining wall. A single roving guard patrols at night, but sources say he was stationed on the rear driveway when the crooks struck. In the aftermath, morning news chopper footage showed plywood slapped over a shattered bay window and shards of antique glass glittering on the ground. But broken glass was just the surface damage. What vanished from inside may sting far worse. A loot list money can't replace. Officially, LAPD has sealed the inventory.
It's happening as we've seen this growing wave of high-end burglaries in LA, targeting people like, you see, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson in just the last year or so.
Off-the-record whispers paint a juicier picture. An original Warhol Sharpie sketch of Mia Farrow, insured for $600K. A 1959 Rolex GMT Master. Black gilt dial, reportedly a gift from ex-wife Jennifer Aniston. Handwritten lyric sheets from the Tarantino-curated Once Upon a Time in Hollywood soundtrack sessions. Potentially sensitive legal files tied to Brad's ongoing custody settlement with Angelina Jolie. Documents stored in a locked Art Deco filing cabinet the burglars pried open. Insurance adjusters peg the physical loss at low 7 figures, but Hollywood publicists warn the private loss, custody details, maybe personal correspondence, could fuel gossip rags for years.
Aerial video appearing to show one of Pitt's doors boarded up with plywood. Law enforcement sources did not say what was stolen. Authorities seen at his home as the investigation begins. The crime taking place while the Oscar-winning actor is traveling the world promoting his new movie F1.
Drive fast.
Pitt's attorneys have already fired off cease and desist letters to tabloid editors, threatening litigation if any stolen papers surface online. And he's not the only headline name nursing fresh scar tissue. The City of Angels has a new, ugly pattern. The celebrity burglary surge. If this raid feels familiar, that's because it is. LAPD's Platinum Triangle Task Force logs show celebrity burglaries up 42% year-over-year across Los Feliz, Beverly Hills, and Encino. In May alone, Anthony Anderson's Encino estate lost $70K in jewelry. Jennifer Aniston's Bel Air ranch was gate-crashed by a stalker, and earlier eras saw the infamous bling ring strip Paris Hilton of nearly everything but her chihuahua. Criminologists say social media oversharing creates perfect storm conditions. Precise travel itineraries, plus Zillow's high-res interior tours give thieves a treasure map. LAPD Captain James Ariza bluntly summarized it last month. These aren't random. They're mission-style ops run by people with Wi-Fi and a getaway driver. Which brings us back to the present manhunt and the clues detectives hope will crack this case. The suspects and the Audi mystery detectives are poring over 11 neighborhood doorbell cameras and 3 city-owned pole cams. Each lens captured the same suspicious sedan. A matte black Audi A6 circling Pitt's cul-de-sac at 10:11 p.m., again at 10:28, and screaming downhill at 10:37. The license plate frame was taped white, a common trick to foil plate-reading AI. One witness spotted a spiderweb neck tattoo on the backseat passenger as the car idled beneath a street lamp. Investigators ran DMV ink pattern databases, yes, that's a thing, and got 4 possible matches, all linked to a San Bernardino burglary ring.
They know they need to get out of there. We're in the era of cameras and alarm systems and response times.
Pitt was not home at the time. The star's been on the road promoting his new movie F1, seen here at the London premiere earlier this week. Police say the suspects ransacked the star's home with an unknown number of items taken.
Meanwhile, a pry bar recovered near the curb bears a partial Home Depot SKU sticker. Detectives are subpoenaing store security footage within a 20-mile radius. 3 theories dominate roll call briefings. Bling ring copycats, Gen Z thrill seekers who live stream break-ins for black market crypto tips. Inside job, a temp security guard sharing floor plans for a cut of the hall. Art flipper syndicate, pros who steal fine art, hold it hostage, then fence through Eastern European auction houses. Pitt's team has posted an unofficial $100K reward for tips leading to capture, quietly relayed through a private investigator network rather than TMZ headlines. But Pitt's pain isn't just about lost art or pried filing cabinets. The raid rips open older wounds he thought were long sealed. Old ghosts haunting new walls. Flashback to 1999. Fresh off Fight Club, Brad dealt with a stalker who breached the very same property, sleeping on a pool chair until dawn before deputies hauled him out. In 2016, amid Brangelina's high-profile split, drone operators hovered over the estate to snap illicit photos of their children. Each incident pushed Pitt to raise security, yet each fix revealed a new vulnerability, like patching cracks in dam concrete while the river keeps rising. Friends say the latest break-in shook him more than usual. At 61, Pitt guards his privacy with monk-like devotion. He paints, sculpts, collects mid-century furniture, most of which was left intact by the thieves, yet the idea of strangers rifling through family letters is worse than property loss, according to one confidant. Still, Brad's a producer at heart. He knows how to turn even disaster into forward momentum, and his next move shows it. Counterstrike, rebuilding the fortress within 24 hours. Contractors erected 8-foot plywood panels behind the shattered bay, swapped outdated leaded glass for ballistic polycarbonate, and installed LiDAR-based motion nets that map heat signatures in 3D.
Was this home targeted, or was it just another high-end home in an upscale neighborhood that was hit? That remains under investigation. Police tell us the house was ransacked and some items were taken. According to real estate websites, the 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home is valued at just over $5 million.
Former Secret Service agents performed a threat vector audit, tagging every shrub, window latch, and slope that could hide a prowler. An elite canine unit now patrols dusk till dawn. Their German Shepherd vests fitted with night vision GoPros. Insurance assessors arrived too, clipboards in hand. One insider whispers the policy requires a full room-by-room photo catalog, meaning some of Pitt's most private collections, obsessively hidden masterpieces, and maybe even that rumored bulletproof safe full of early Tarantino scripts, will be documented in a database. If leaks occur, the break-in could expose a trove of Hollywood lore. And that looming threat is exactly why every gossip site on Earth is refreshing their inbox right now. Media frenzy and the cost of silence. Tabloids have already fired off checkbook offers for exclusive loot photos. But Pitt's PR phalanx counters with strict legalese. Any outlet trafficking stolen material faces injunctions and 7-figure damages. Meanwhile, YouTube commentary channels are exploding. Titles like Brad Pitt Exposed, What the Thieves Really Took, rack up views by the million. One creator even claims to have intercepted ring cam footage of the break-in, though skeptics call it AI-fabricated clickbait. Digital rights experts warn that if genuine footage surfaces, platforms must balance newsworthiness against privacy. Pitt's team could file copyright takedowns. He owns the camera feed, forcing YouTube to remove leaked clips. Yet the Streisand effect looms. The more you try to bury something, the louder the internet screams. Which leaves one final, biting question. One the LAPD hasn't asked publicly, but fans whisper in every comment thread. Was the burglary just a smash and grab, or a message?
The LAPD was out in the neighborhood again today looking for homes with security cameras facing the street that possibly caught images of the thieves or arriving or leaving the area. Now, our law enforcement contacts tell us Pitt security cameras recorded the men going over the fence or the gate before they smashed a window to get inside.
Look closely at what was left behind. platinum watches in the master bath, a Cartier Panther brooch in the study. Thieves skipped obvious, easy pawn items, yet painstakingly cracked a fire safe bolted to a concrete floor. That safe stored the Jolie custody papers. A jackpot only if you want leverage, not quick cash. Could someone be fishing for info rather than valuables? Divorce attorneys note that leaked documents could nuke settlement talks, giving the other side bargaining power. Of course, speculation borders on conspiracy, but Hollywood history is riddled with black bag jobs dressed up as burglaries. Remember the bling ring's lesser-known clones who sold personal photos, not jewelry? LAPD won't entertain motive theories in public, but off-the-record sources concede nothing is off the table. And the presence of that Audi, unregistered, plates taped white suggests pros, not thrill-seeking TikTokers. So where does that leave Pitt? And by extension, anyone whose life is an open book on the internet? Bigger than Brad, the age of broadcast burglaries. Experts coin a new term, broadcast burglaries. Celebrities broadcast their location in real time. Thieves treat it as a living schedule. Even private citizens who geotag vacations invite strangers into empty homes. Security firms now market digital decoy services, seeding fake social posts to obscure real travel. Pitt's misfortune might accelerate that trend. Meanwhile, state lawmakers float bills mandating social media delay toggles for verified accounts. Post your vacation pics only after you're back. Critics call it unenforceable. Advocates say one famous break-in per quarter proves something must change. The policy wars will rage. But for Pitt, the next chapter is personal and immediate. Aftermath and personal fallout. Sources close to the actor say he's cutting the European press tour short, flying home to inspect the damage himself. Friends report a mix of anger and weary resignation.
After ransacking the home, they fled the scene with an unknown amount of stolen property.
Smash and grab job, huh? Slightly more complicated than that.
He's grateful his 6 kids weren't in LA, deeply rattled that strangers pawed childhood drawings tucked in a bedroom drawer. Insurance will foot the financial loss, but emotional security? That's harder to rebuild. Pitt has already greenlit an architect to design a subterranean gallery for high-value art, a safe room doubling a study, and infrared perimeter beams linked to on-site guards. The renovation budget? Whatever it takes. Yet as contractors hammer and lawyers draft cease and desists, Hollywood's rumor mill keeps spinning, leaving us with one closing enigma. Conclusion Viewer Challenge. The shattered window is boarded, the alarms upgraded, and 3 masked intruders have melted back into the urban jungle. What they left behind is a bigger break-in into Brad Pitt's sense of safety, into Hollywood's collective nerves, and maybe into a custody saga half the globe thought was settled. Was this burglary a high-stakes treasure hunt, or the opening salvo in a silent blackmail war? You tell me. Drop your wildest, most plausible theory below, because until detectives cuff the crew, this mystery is wide open. And trust me, the next twist might be even crazier. So hit that subscribe button and stay tuned.